They threw Coca Cola on a black woman at work. Her billionaire husband walks in and, beginning, the ordinary mask. The cafeteria smelled faintly of oil and bleach, with a constant buzz of fluorescent lights overhead. Tasha Williams adjusted her hairnet, tucked her braids neatly beneath it, and tightened her apron. She worked a late-night shift at the Omega Corp research facility, scrubbing tables and carrying trays long after the engineers and executives had gone home. It wasn't glamorous work, but it paid the bills, and more importantly, it gave her access to secrets no one else could see. Because Omega Corp wasn't just any company. Nestled deep in a Nevada desert, its glass and steel campus looked like any other corporate headquarters. But inside, scientists were bending the rules of physics, experimenting with alien technologies salvaged from meteors and wrecks no government had dared acknowledge. Tasha knew more than she let on. While most saw her as just a janitor, she observed everything. She noticed which executives whispered in corners, which engineers left blueprints unattended, and which guards loitered by doors marked restricted. That night, the cafeteria was unusually full. A group of junior engineers lounged near the soda machines, laughing a little too loudly. Tasha kept her head down as she wiped the tables nearby, but her ears caught the mockery. Man, can you believe Omega Corp still hires people like her? $1 billion company, and we've got a janitor scrubbing floors. Maybe she's just happy to clean up after geniuses like us. Another chuckled. Tasha ignored it, focusing on her work. She had endured worse. But then came the sound of a soda can cracking open, followed by laughter that had an edge of cruelty. Without warning, a cold spray of liquid splattered across her uniform and face. Coca Cola dripped from her hairnet, staining her apron and searing her pride. The engineers roared with laughter. Oops, guess the janitor missed a spot. Tasha froze. Her fists clenched, her jaw tightened, but she said nothing. She knew how Omega Corp treated people who fought back. Workers disappeared overnight. People who complained never showed up again. She was about to walk away when the cafeteria doors slid open, and in walked Marcus Steele. To the engineers, he was just another late visitor, a tall man in a black hoodie, carrying the quiet confidence of someone who belonged wherever he went. They didn't recognize him at first. But to Tasha, he was her husband. And not just any husband. Marcus Steele was a reclusive billionaire tech mogul, owner of Steel Dynamics, a company so powerful it rivaled Omega Corp itself. Most thought he lived in the shadows, an eccentric genius too paranoid to appear in public. Few knew he was married. Marcus took one look at Tasha, dripping with soda, and his eyes hardened like steel. What happened here? His voice cut through the cafeteria, like a blade. The engineers froze. Something about his tone made the laughter die in their throats. It was just a joke, one stammered. Marcus stepped forward, his presence filling the room. He pulled a napkin from the dispenser and gently wiped Tasha's cheek, his touch soft but deliberate. A joke. His eyes never left hers. Did you think humiliating my wife would be funny? The room went silent. Wife? One engineer whispered. Marcus removed his hood, revealing his unmistakable face, the one that had appeared in countless business magazines and financial reports. The engineers gasped. They weren't mocking a janitor anymore. They had just insulted the wife of the man whose company could crush their careers overnight. And worse, Omega Corp was already at war with Steel Dynamics. Middle, the war behind the curtain. The cafeteria emptied within minutes, whispers echoing down the halls. By morning, the entire facility buzzed with gossip. The janitor is married to Marcus Steele. But Marcus hadn't come just to defend Tasha. He had come because he suspected Omega Corp of something darker. Tasha, he said quietly once they were alone in the staff locker room, it's worse than I thought. They're experimenting with tech they shouldn't have. I've traced energy spikes coming from their reactors, spikes that match alien signatures I've studied for years. Tasha nodded. She had seen glimpses, shards of glowing crystal in containment chambers, schematics for weapons that defied physics. I knew they were hiding something. They're building a gateway, Marcus continued, his voice low. Not just research. They're trying to open a portal. If they succeed, they won't just connect to another world. They'll unleash something we can't control. Tasha's heart pounded. And you want me to help you stop them? You're already inside, Marcus said. You've been my eyes and ears without even realizing it. But now, we'll need more than observation. That night, Tasha followed Marcus through hidden corridors he seemed to know by heart. He had hacked Omega Corp security systems, slipping past cameras and keypads. Together, they descended into levels few employees ever saw. What they found was chilling. Behind reinforced glass, suspended in field of energy, floated an object that pulsed with alien light. It wasn't a machine. It was alive. Tendrils of luminescence reached outward, pressing against a containment field like fingers scratching at a window. That, Marcus whispered, is not of this earth. Omega Corp executives surrounded it, studying readouts. Their leader, Dr. Callahan, barked orders. Increase the frequency. The entity responds to resonance. We're close to breaching dimensional stability. Tasha's skin crawled. They're torturing it. They think they can control it, Marcus said grimly. But once that barrier falls, nothing will stop it from spilling into our world. Tasha felt anger rising, not just at the cruelty of the engineers who had mocked her, but at the arrogance of Omega Corp itself. They had treated her like nothing while tampering with forces beyond comprehension. No more, she whispered. The rising conflict. The next day, word spread that Tasha had been reassigned. Instead of cafeteria duty, she was promoted to cleaning restricted labs. It wasn't kindness. It was suspicion. Someone in Omega Corp had realized Marcus's sudden appearance wasn't random. As she scrubbed floors near containment chambers, she overheard fragmented conversations, discussions of weaponization, talks of dimensional bleed. She memorized details, relaying them to Marcus through hidden comms he slipped into her pocket. But Omega Corp wasn't blind. Dr. Callahan summoned her. You've been with us for years, Tasha, he said smoothly, his silver hair gleaming under laboratory lights. Quiet, obedient, reliable. So tell me, why is Marcus Steele suddenly so interested in our facility? Tasha forced a neutral expression. I don't know what you're talking about. My husband just came to see me. Callahan's smile was thin. You underestimate how much we know. Steele Dynamics has been spying on us for months. And you, Mrs. Steele, you're the perfect mole. Before she could respond, guards seized her arms. The escape. They brought her to the lower chambers again, this time as bait. Callahan knew Marcus would come for her. He underestimated just how prepared Marcus was. When the alarms blared, chaos erupted. Drones fell from the ceiling, hacked mid-flight. Security doors slammed shut in reverse. And through the smoke strode Marcus, wielding a handheld device that hummed with alien energy. Tasha, he shouted, blasting a guard aside. She broke free of her captors and ran to him. But in that instant, the containment field failed. The alien entity surged outward, filling the chamber with blinding light. It wasn't monstrous. It was beautiful and terrifying, like a living star, its tendrils weaving through matter itself. Callahan screamed, "Contain it!" But it was too late. The entity had tasted freedom, and it was angry. Climax, the choice. The alien lashed out, shattering consoles, melting steel. Scientists fled in terror. Only Marcus and Tasha stood their ground. Marcus turned to her, eyes fierce. We can't fight it, but maybe we can reason with it. It's alive, it feels. Tasha stepped forward, heart pounding. Then let me try. She remembered the humiliation in the cafeteria, the way humans treated each other as lesser, and she realized this creature had been mocked, prodded, restrained. It was suffering just like she had. Speaking softly, she raised her hands. I know you're in pain. They tried to use you, but not everyone here is your enemy. The light swirled, hesitating. The entity's tendrils brushed her fingertips, and suddenly, visions flooded her mind. Worlds of crystal skies, oceans of fire, civilizations long extinct. The entity wasn't just a creature. It was a refugee. I understand, Tasha whispered. You just want to go home. The entity pulsed brighter, as if in answer. Marcus held out the device he had built. This can stabilize a portal. But I need a link, someone who trusts. Tasha stepped closer, letting the entity envelop her. Together, they activated the device. A rift opened, shimmering with stars. The alien gave one last pulse of gratitude before vanishing into its world. And just like that, the chamber fell silent, ending the reckoning. The aftermath was swift. Omega Corp's project collapsed, literally and politically. With the alien gone and evidence of their reckless experiments leaked to the press, courtesy of Marcus's hacking, governments worldwide descended on the corporation. Executives were arrested. Facilities were seized. But for Tasha, the victory was personal. No one mocked her anymore. The woman once dismissed as just a janitor was now known as the one who would face an alien being and save humanity from catastrophe. Beside her stood Marcus, not as the billionaire genius, but as her partner, proud and unyielding. One evening, weeks later, they stood on their balcony overlooking the city. The stars shimmered above, and for a moment, Tasha wondered if the entity was looking back. Marcus slipped his arm around her. You realize you're the bravest person I've ever known." She smiled faintly. "I was just tired of being invisible." "You'll never be invisible again," he promised. And for the first time in years, Tasha believed it, because she knew the truth. Power wasn't in wealth or titles. Power was in standing tall when others tried to make you small. And in the end, that was what saved the world.